Ever since Zoro's reveal after the time skip, we have all speculated the reasoning on Zoro's cut eye. There have been a number of different theories and answers to this question, but despite this, there isn't a concrete answer to this looming question. This video will help to narrow down the evidence and come up with a closer answer to the mystery of Zoro's eye, and how his damaged eye may potentially be linked to the Shimotsuki clan. If you guys would like to go and support the channel, please be sure to go and like the video and subscribe for weekly theories and reviews on One Piece. So I'm very excited to go and talk about this topic because Zoro's cut eye has been the biggest theory on my last channel, which had over 1.5 million views. So it's been something I've wanted to go and revisit, having done it 5 years ago. And now that we have more evidence about the Shimotsuki clan, that's why this particular video is focusing with the Shimotsuki clan as a part of this theory. Okay, first off, we're going to go and dive right into a big part of this theory, and that is the Kitetsu Curse. Like all of the swords crafted by Kitetsu, the Sandai Kitetsu is said to be cursed and will supposedly bring horrible death to all of its owners. But what exactly is the nature behind this curse, and what will this mean for Zoro's fate? The most important aspect of these swords is that the owner has to have a strong enough spirit to control the cursed nature associated with it. Zoro immediately was able to wield Kitetsu, as well as now holding Enma, another one of the legendary swords of Wano. Another example of this was how Luffy was able to wield the Nidai Kitetsu, another one of the cursed swords. This would be due to Luffy having a strong enough spirit to tame the cursed nature of the Kitetsu sword. Zoro's spirit and drive to become the world's greatest swordsman would be enough to control the curse of Kitetsu. But with the motivation to lead Luffy to becoming the Pirate King, as well as his promise to never lose in battle again, Zoro's spirit would undoubtedly be one of, if not, the strongest in history to ever wield the Kitetsu swords. The nature of the Sandai Kitetsu is also said to have an incredible amount of bloodlust. And with Zoro having an incredible amount of killing intent during his battles, this would also amplify the power and control Zoro has over Sandai Kitetsu. Tenguyama Hitetsu forged the Sandai Kitetsu sword and agreed that he was impressed with the strong will and ability to wield the Sandai Kitetsu sword, despite its cursed nature, with Zoro also wielding the treasure of Wano Enma, further solidifying his point. We have yet to see whether the omen of a horrible death to the owners of the Kitetsu swords ring true, or whether this merely means that when the spirit of Kitetsu is stronger than the owner, it will not be effective and lead to the owner's demise in battle. With Zoro's intense drive to achieve his and Luffy's goals, I don't personally see a day where the curse could affect Zoro's life, but there's always a reason Oda provides these details. And with Oda's track record of foreshadowing events, there could be a day where the omen of Kitetsu comes to fruition. I do definitely see more of the Kitetsu curse being brought up towards the end of Zoro's life, especially as he's getting more towards his goals and he's having to go and push himself harder as he faces stronger opponents. So now we're going to go and shift from the Kitetsu curse to another huge part of Zoro's character, and that of course is his Haki. Zoro is very proficient in the ways of controlling Haki, with his frequent uses of armament Haki, as well as being shown to use observation Haki. A fascinating point is that Zoro possesses Conqueror's Haki, and this ability has only been noted by Kaido himself when hit by one of Zoro's attacks. The Conqueror's Haki has been dormant within Zoro, and only revealed itself when immense power was used against Kaido. It's no surprise that the members of Luffy's crew would possess immense power going into the later stages of the series, but for confirmation that Zoro possesses Conqueror's Haki is very interesting, and only a handful of individuals in high power possess this Haki ability. What intrigues me is that Zoro's swords, in particular Enma, has been directly influenced by Zoro's armament Haki. In chapter 955, it was shown that Enma had been extracting Zoro's Haki into the sword itself to allow it to become more powerful. This is the only time I have seen an object directly consume Haki energy, as opposed to the user feeding Haki energy into the weapon itself. This further emphasizes the wild nature of Zoro's swords, and how they possess their own wills and spirits. So it just goes to show that even now, at chapter 955, we are seeing more secrets on Zoro's swords being revealed, and that there is more to these swords than we realize, which goes back into my point that they are in fact cursed, and now that with Zoro's Haki is actively influencing the swords, and vice versa, we're just only going to go and see more moving forward. So now for one of the biggest new points to my old theory, and that is the introduction to the Shimotsuki Clan. So once the Shimotsuki Clan was introduced into the story, it just opened a whole can of worms, and now we have a whole bunch of information. So let's dive right in and chat about that. The Shimotsuki Clan has had close family ties with Zoro for his entire life. From his sword style teachings from Koshiro, his rivalry with Kuina, to battling Ryuma in Thriller Bark, and now arriving in Wano Kingdom. But what exactly is the significance of the Shimotsuki Clan with Zoro? The answer to that question is believed to be that Zoro is a direct descendant to the legendary swordsman Ryuma, with Zoro's father being Shimotsuki Ushimaru. Ushimaru was a direct descendant of Ryuma, and was a shogun of Wano until its takeover 20 years ago. An interesting characteristic of Ushimaru is that he was noted as a kind, honorable, and selfless samurai, and by comparison, Zoro is someone who can be blinded by his own ambitions and motives. I can definitely expect in the future that Zoro's character will mature into something similar to Rayleigh and Ushimaru. Not only does Ushimaru share a striking resemblance to Zoro, but it is also said that he wielded his swords in a similar manner to Zoro. Ushimaru was shown using a dual-wielding style, and when making an attack, his hunched over stance was identical to Zoro's charged up attacks. It can be a bit of a stretch to simply say that a character is related to another due to looking similar and acting in a similar way, but with all these points considered, as well as Zoro being so closely tied to the Shimotsuki family, it would be naive to think that there isn't a possibility whatsoever of Ushimaru being Zoro's father. Another part of the Shimotsuki lineage is that they all share a similar appearance with their left eyes. This connection leads into my next point, and it is the most controversial and most talked about mysteries on Zoro's character. And that's of course about the Shimotsuki Eye. Now this is the point that really draws the line in the sand, where you're going to have a complete split on fans of Zoro, whether Zoro's Eye is going to have some sort of hidden ability in it, or that it has absolutely no purpose whatsoever, it's just for looks. This is where we sort of really just divide people up in two different camps. So let's go and talk about the Shimotsuki Eye. Zoro's left eye is the biggest mystery of Zoro's character, with many people, including myself, believing that it holds a major significance and that there's an exact reason it hasn't been explained since the time skip. Scars on characters hold significance and tell a story on that character's growth, from Luffy's chest scar from Akainu to Shanks' scar from Blackbeard and Zoro's chest scar from Mihawk. They all share a deeper importance. So when we are met with a significant scar of a damaged eye, there has to be a specific reason as to why this hasn't been addressed at all. Just like how Sanji right now is having his dormant abilities awakened during his fight with Queen, I can expect to see some dormant or suppressed abilities coming out against his battle with King. With Zoro's swords holding spirits, I would like to see that maybe during the battle, Zoro explains that during his training with Mihawk, he learned that the spirits can be extracted from the swords into his own being. This would provide immeasurable power and is almost impossible to control. And because of this dangerous aspect, it can only be used in desperate situations. During this trance, when the spirit of either Enma or Kitetsu is taking control over Zoro, his left eye will open to signify that the spirit has taken control and allows the readers to know that Zoro is in his tranced state. I'm unsure whether there will be any sort of hidden secret power coming from the left eye, but the thought of Zoro letting the spirits consume him sounds like a really exciting development. No matter what the answer to Zoro's left eye is, I do firmly believe that there is a specific reason that Zoro's eye has not been addressed, and that we will find out in Wano at the earliest. So there you go. These are my thoughts on Zoro's eye. I still believe that there is a big significance to his eye, and that there is a specific purpose as to why it hasn't been shown. I mean, every single other aspect of these other characters have been explained. So when Zoro has the most obvious thing of now an eye that is severely damaged and hasn't been opened, and no one whatsoever has addressed it, there is a specific reason. Now I know over the years there has been talk of the eye of Hawkeye under Zoro's left eye, which would be absolutely insane. I think it's going to go down the route of Zoro's swords consuming him, because now they're introducing more of that since chapter 955. So having those spirits consume him to now have this uncontrollable power. And it just makes sense too to have Zoro's eye open to signify this change. Like to signify that his body is completely out of control and that it's now the demons that are taking control of him from his swords. But what are your thoughts on Zoro's eye? Let me know in the comment section down below. And once again, guys, if you guys enjoyed the content and you want to support the channel, be sure to go and like the video and subscribe for more future weekly One Piece series. I hope you all have an awesome day. Take care, and I'll see you all on the next one.